Society Matters.
Hello, and thank you for joining me today. I'm your host, Ken Schachter, and on today's episode of Disrupting Hate on HMTV, I'll be joined by my special guest, psychologist Vered Atzmon Meshulam. Vered leads the resilience division of not-for-profit ZAKA, the Hebrew acronym for Disaster Victim Identification. ZAKA's units operate in Israel and around the world, offering search and rescue efforts for survivors of attacks and natural disasters, and dignified and halakhic treatment for bodies of the dead. She is also founder and chief executive of One Resilience for Israel. Vered, you've been in the midst of one of Israel's most difficult periods. Take us back a couple of years to October 7th, 2023, and the aftermath of the massive Hamas terrorist onslaught on southern Israel. How quickly did ZAKA's first responders arrive on the scene?
Well, actually, ZAKA's the volunteers were the first one to get to the scene. People left their houses with their families under attack and just run to the field. And they were the first one to be in all the areas of the kibbutzes and the massacre. They saw everything. They took the bodies under fire zones and in the other zones that were around the area. And actually, there were really angels from God that helped us to bring all the bodies and our brothers and sisters back home to a respectable burial.
And what was your role with ZAKA?
Well, actually, my story began at the October 7th at night. I joined and volunteered on behalf of the Ministry of Health to escort families in the moment of identification in the IDF-based Shura. That's where all the victims go to. That was like a life-changing moment for me. I did it for a whole month. And actually, it was life-changing in so many ways because there was a very sacred moment there that to see, and it all makes sense to see the bodies and their conditions and what they have been through, and the suffering in their faces made such a big remark on my soul. And actually, I got there as a psychologist, and I was going out from there as with my life mission to help every Jew in all over the world, and especially in Israel in that days and now, to find new and integrative tools for this new chapter in our history that we are dealing with after the October 7th. So from that day, I understood that the need would be, first of all, for first responders, because we would be like the last one on the needed therapists in this time. So I founded NGO that was especially delivering processing trauma for first responders. And after 3 months, when I invited ZAKA's volunteers to my retreat, they, after a month, called me and asked me if I can join to their director and be the founder and the manager of the resilience division at ZAKA. First time in their 30 years of organization's life. And for me, it was like the most biggest mission I can ever ask, to help these sacred people to deal with what they have been through and to help them heal and get back to their lives. So that's what I'm doing for the last 1 year and a half. And it's like a very, very, very big mission, because it's like national wide, and there are like 30,000 volunteers that are getting therapies, never had it before. It's something very profound in these days for them to get that, and it's really make a big change in the organization.
So this is so just to underline it, this is therapy for the first responders, not just the victims and their families, and who of course are also getting treatment.
Yeah, the program that I'm doing with ZAKA as the head of the Division of Resilience is to helping the first responders at ZAKA. All the volunteers are getting now therapy, a private one, group therapies, cutting-edge technologies that I put inside, retreats that are delivering knowledge that I studied before. I didn't know that, but I'm studying for the last 5 years, Hasidic studying in lots of programs and in Bar-Ilan University, and I didn't know how it will make me so prepared for this moment, because the tools that I invented, I developed a model that called Lens of the Spirit, and this model combines evidence-based tools with Hasidic protocols, like Hasidic tools that can help them and combine their spiritual roots with the psychological side, and it's like amazing. It makes so much difference. I can share with you, like, one of the tools is doing
please do.
we're doing, like doing a kind of tashlich in front of a fire, and it's not, the research shows that when you are using the community resources, it's a very profound factor of help them heal. So we are doing kind of a tashlich ceremony that every one of the volunteers at the night are writing in a paper what they want to throw from them and leave it there after what they have been singing. And we are doing that in a cycle. Everyone is standing, everyone is talking. Some of them are crying. We are throwing that to the fire, and it's just one of the tools that makes them feel kind of discharging all this trauma that has been like a mark on their soul. And it really helps them. It's just one of them. We are using kind of singing together in a communal environment. So it's that music is one of the tools that can help us heal. So I combined many tools together, and they are going through a really deep process, and it's like they are saying afterwards that they started to sleep again, first time since October 7th. They are telling us that their spouses feels that they came back different, they came back new. So it's really, really powerful, and I'm so grateful for this opportunity to help them with this new model that can be tailor-made for their tradition, and it will make really change in their soul.
Just to backtrack, for those who aren't familiar with the tashlich tradition, but we throw away, in Jewish tradition, on a certain day we cast our sins into the water symbolically, and I guess this is these first responders were casting their emotions or their wishes into the fire,
exactly.
Right? Okay.
This is just one part of, after a long day, that are doing a processing group with therapists that are processing their story with lots of tools like writing, intuitive writing, that is very profound for them to write their narrative again. We are using tools like guided meditation and imaginary, and these tools are, they're taking that back home and they're using and practicing that, and it's really make their life change. Breathing techniques, stuff that they never saw before and knew how to use, now they're using, and it's very profound.
That sounds so valuable. Now, how did the events of October 7th connect to you and your intergenerational family story? I gather that there is a connection there.
Yeah, actually I'm very excited to be and join you in this podcast, because The Holocaust has never been just a history for me. It's part of who I am. My grandfather, Argamani Meshulam, was in the age of 20 when he escaped from Greece. And he was the only survivor from his family because no one believed him that it's really going to happen. He tried to convince them to come with him to run, but they didn't believe, and he had a young sister named Rosa. She was just 12, and his mother told him, listen, we can run with 6 children. We don't have enough money for that. We can't do that. Go by yourself and may God help us and we'll be okay. So actually, I'm on the name of his sister, Rosa. My name is Vered in Hebrew, but in Rosa is the meaning of this word. So this side of my history really shaped me because my grandfather never had a chance to say goodbye. That absence, that silence, that guilt feelings that he had all his life really shaped my family story. And as a teenage, I read Viktor Frankl's, Man's Search for Meaning. I read it because I felt that the silence of my grandfather changed my whole narrative, not talking, not processing his grief and his guilt feeling of being alive and his whole family were murdered. It was something that I saw and felt with all my senses. So when I read Frankl, I understood that even in the worst suffering, we can choose our response, and that's what my grandfather did. He didn't speak. He didn't have the opportunity to have processing with psychology help, but he chose life. He chose to marry, chose to bring, all my family, my father, Simantov, and his sister. So that meaning is what I think allowed him to survive, and his word became my mission to make tikkun for others. So afterwards, I became a psychologist that specializing in oncology, and I helped lots of people in the last days of processing farewells and separation from their families. And all these years I felt that it's like my mission, that I'm doing something good to the world that my grandfather didn't had a chance to do. And over the time, I realized that trauma is not only passed down through stories, it's carried in our body. It's, even if it's not unspoken, it's in how we love and how we protect. But resilience can be passed down too. And that is a really profound understanding. And even after the October 7th, it's much more profound because pain and strength is the legacy I carry, and I feel that this is my mission to help others to connect this source from inside. Because I think that the story of my grandfather learned me a lesson about a deep sense of responsibility. I grew up knowing that survival isn't enough. You had to rebuild. You have to give meaning. And as a psychologist, this is exactly my path in this world.
From generation to generation, it still flows.
Exactly.
And can you tell me what the Argamani Project is? I recognize that name from the hostage families. What is that about?
Yeah. So actually, Argamani's story is really unique because it's. There was a moment, if you remember, at the beginning of the war, I saw Noah Argamani's hostage. She was hostage there before, and then her mother, Liora, was battling cancer. And because of my knowledge and experience with oncology patients, I felt a deep inner calling and understanding that maybe she won't be able to get separated from her family in China. Because, I didn't know if Noah will get back as soon as she can to see her. And then, like an idea came to my mind. I thought to myself, maybe I can help with that, to bring them, to reunite them before her death. And after that, it was like a miracle. I was getting a phone call from someone from US to ask me to make a lecture for volunteers. And then I asked her, what are you doing for other stuff? And then she said, I'm working with philanthropists and helping people now in Israel. So I asked her, listen, I have an idea. If I will make it happen, if I will take this project and make it happen, can you find someone to give the money for making it happen? So immediately she said yes, and then after 3 days I got to Argamani's family. I didn't know them before, I just saw them in the television. I knocked on their door and I asked them if they would like me to help them meet her family. And of course it was a really, really touching heart moment, and she said, of course, I would love you to help me doing that because I didn't see them for the last 7 years. You remember there was the corona, so in China she couldn't see them, and then all the things that happened. And from that day, for 3 months, I worked with the Ministry of Affairs, and I worked with people that helped me to make it happen, and we invited their two sisters from China to meet in Greece, and we made together 1 week of processing their farewell. It was very powerful, it was amazing. And then it was in February 23, and then it ended and we went back to Israel with Argamani's parents. And then after 4 months, Ken, it's like a crazy story, I got a phone call from the hostages department, and they are telling me, listen, Leora is in her last days, and we heard that you already brought their sisters, and we need them to be back here again. Can you help us with that? I said, of course. I went to their apartment, and I tried to book the ticket. I talked with the sisters, and then I booked the ticket when it was Friday to Sunday morning, like quick one, because we were in a rush with the condition of Leora. And that day, I first in my life decided to keep Shabbat fully. I never did it before. I shut down my phone. I never did that before. And I went to sleep, and in the morning I went to the synagogue, and then I'm hearing like a friend of mine is calling me from the street, Vered, and I went out and I'm saying to myself, why is she screaming in the street in the middle of Shabbat? And then she's shouting at me, Noah Argamani got released. And that was a moment that I can't explain. Like every time I'm telling that, I'm having the chills all over. You understand that it was like the providence guidance, like the God wills, because the day that she was released was the day before her aunts came to Israel. We didn't know that in that day. So at Sunday morning, I went to take them to the hospital, and it was a really, really emotional moment for all the family to unite with Noah, with the sisters, with Leora and Yaakov. And for me, it was like kind of a moment that I stood in the room, and I thought about my grandfather that never had a chance to do that, to say farewell, and helping Leora felt like repairing a wound that began generations ago. And it reminded me the lesson that even in the deep loss, we can create moments of profound meaning just by bringing our ideas and words into reality, like abracadabra, like to create what I believe and think and want to do in this world. So for me, it was like, I'm so grateful for that.
Now we've all heard of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. Can you just bring us back into the weeds a little bit, the psychological weeds of how PTSD, what forms it takes, and how is it expressed, and what signs people should look for in their loved ones?
Well, after October 7th, I think that most of the people in Israel suffering from, and we know that by research, that suffering from one kind of post-traumatic symptom. But we can't say that all the people are suffering from PTSD, because PTSD is a really profound one, and we know that people have their own personal resilience that can help them heal from inside, though they've been through such a harsh trauma. from the side of the psychological side, you can see that if you are suffering from problems with getting proper sleep at night, if there is a feeling of meaningless life, if you feel that you're getting like in a frustration situation, you're getting into anger, behavior. People are saying that they are got disconnected from their community, from their friends. They lost a sense of feeling joy or happiness in any kind of a condition. And this is just one of these part of these symptoms. And I think that one of the things that really matter is to get to professionals to get help, because sometimes it feels like you're alone in the world and there is nothing that can help you. But I can share that from my experience with ZAKA's volunteers, after what they have been through, and though they are keep on doing their work and keep on moving in their life and building their life, it's really profound. And this is the part that it's really important to get professionals to give you the tools how to process it. And one thing that I can share, that most of the people that feel post-traumatic symptoms, they feel that nothing can help them. But though it feels like that, I can share with others that we know that without going through the pain, we can't heal. And one of the hardest things is to touch this pain, And from a psychological point of view, when you're feeling pain, the most natural way is to disconnect from this pain. But this is the problem. When you're disconnecting from this pain, your dissociation, like it's a dissociation defense mode, it makes you get connected from your life too, not just from the pain. And that's the reason why it's so important to go through that, to process that with the help of community, with the help of professionals, with the help of others, because you can't do that alone. It's really, it really makes a change in the life of human beings.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now tell us a little bit about one Resilience for Israel, which I believe the short name is Echad, the Hebrew word for one. Yes.
Yeah, so actually October 7th made it clear for me that the threat to the Jewish people is real, is constant, it's global, and survival depends on being connected and protected. This is something that was very profound in Shura-based, IDF-based. When everyone joined together for one mission, there was such a unity there, and I understood that the only way to heal from that will be just to be united in this kind of form, no matter what kind of the political side or religious side you are. We are all one soul. So that's why I created Platform Echad. Platform Echad, it's a cutting-edge digital Iron Dome that will help Jewish communities, for every Jew everywhere, a safe and unifying space for both crisis and daily life. In emergency, it will give alerts and emotional first aid and mobilized community support. And in daily life, it builds connection and learning and resilience. I can share that it's more than technology. This is the time for us to bring, like, the only way to spread healing now in these days is by the web. Everyone is, addicted to their phone. So I understood this profound thing, and I understood another thing, that all the world are trying to engage and help with against anti-Semitism in three layers. One is advocacy, the second one is the side of monitoring in the web, and the other side is legalization. But then I understood that there is one layer that is missing, and the layer is resilience. And from a point of view of a professional, I understood that you can change someone's hatred just by saying to him, oh, how good we are so good to others, we are so good. It's not working. We need to strengthen the resilience from inside, to make connection, to be in a way that we can be resilient by feeling that we are not alone. And in these days, that every day we are reading in the paper it's another event of anti-Semitism, then I understood that Echad platform is the way to spread it by the network, social networks, in a way that can give a shared space home for all the Jews all over the global, and this is the essence of Echad.
Okay, and are you working with? Do you have funders? Do you have co-creators who you're working with? Okay.
What we are doing now, I have a team that's already doing that in Israel. We are now I'm now in New York in lots of events that I'm launching this platform, and now we are in the part of fundraising the first seed for the MVP version, and it is going to be ready in 4 months from now, and then we are in contact with organizations like Chabad campuses, Hillel organization, and communities in US and in Europe, because lots of the communities feel that they need this app to be not just protected, not just for being in a communal environment. It really gives you protection, because there is an emergency button that when you press the emergency button, it connects you directly through three things. One, it connects to a Jewish rescue organization that in your geographic area. Second of all, it connects you to users that are inside the app and can get help to help you in your nearby area. And the third one is reporting and recording these events in a real-time event. Like if you're in the middle of, like my daughter was in Barcelona, and someone choked him in the middle of a party. And if the app was already there and his parents were connected and he were connected, he could press a button that will open a siren in the middle of the party. That first of all will threat the one that assaulted him, and second of all will ask for emergency help in immediate and in the right and now, here and now. So it's really, really profound. Not just for communal side, for protection, real protection.
Great.
Thank you so much now.
Vered, I am so sorry, but I'm afraid we're out of time. But perhaps we can reconnect after your platform launches. In any case, thank you. Thank you for tuning in on this episode of Disrupting Hate on HMTV. Many thanks to my guest, Vered Atzmon Meshulam of ZAKA and Echad, for sharing her insights. Be sure to subscribe, share, and stay connected for more engaging conversations. Until next time, take care and be well.